The thing everyone missed about Adventure Time's most underestimated character is its wisdom. While Finn and Jake were off having grand adventures and learning massive life lessons, BMO was already teaching them. There are 5 distinct ways BMO functions as the family's emotional center, and each one reveals how backwards everyone's assumptions really are. Starting with the most obvious one by going to Season 3. In Incendium, Finn is sobbing on the floor over Princess Bubblegum, and Jake does what an older brother does when they're uncomfortable with emotions. He finds someone else to handle it.
BMO, you look after him with your camera eyes.
If anyone tries to hurt Finn, I will kill them.
A role BMO picks up without hesitation, though said with a little humor. The line gets a laugh because it's so unexpected, but watch BMO's face when he says it. He means every word. Jake disappears, and BMO is left with a heartbroken teenager who won't stop crying. So BMO does what feels right to him, trying to make Finn feel better. First, it's a game. Then that ridiculous Concho prank even Jake gets weirded out by. None of it works, obviously, because heartbreak doesn't get fixed by distraction. But BMO stays. It's what you'd want from a parent figure in that moment. Not someone trying to fix everything per se, just someone willing to sit with you in the darkness until you're ready to get up. Except BMO is supposed to be the child figure here, right? Finn and Jake usually make the decisions about where BMO goes and what he does, but when things get emotionally heavy and real comfort is needed, BMO becomes the grown-up in the room. Guardians of Sunshine shows another side of BMO's protective instincts. Finn and Jake discover that they can physically enter a video game, and they're immediately obsessed with the idea. BMO tries to warn them and protect them, though. He's genuinely worried, not even being a killjoy or anything. It's BMO understanding something that Finn and Jake are too excited to consider about that there's real danger. They brush him off. They're the heroes, right? They can handle anything. Of course, they get in way over their heads. The game is way too hard for them, and suddenly this fun adventure becomes genuinely dangerous for them. And who has to mount a rescue once reality breaks and the enemies escape from inside of BMO? The little gaming console they ignored in the first place. BMO instructs Finn to use the combo move, providing guidance like he was born for it, which technically he was, but in reality, he was actually programmed to be something way different. More on that later. BMO's protective nature is a pattern that runs through so many episodes. BMO sees problems coming, offers warnings that get dismissed, then ends up cleaning up the mess when everything goes wrong. He protects them from consequences that they refuse to consider, and somehow they never get bitter about it. That protective attitude is the first way that BMO proves their worth as a child who is also a parent. The second one is a lot harder to spot, where we move to Season 4's BMO Noir. In this episode, Finn and Jake are having one of their stupid roommate fights. Someone lost a sock, accusations are flying, and the whole treehouse feels tense. BMO watches this unfold from the corner, and you can see them processing the situation. Their friends are hurting each other over something completely trivial, but the hurt is real. BMO slips into this elaborate noir detective fantasy, complete with internal monologue and dramatic lighting. On the surface, it looks like BMO just playing pretend while the adults sort themselves out, but they're actually working it all out. The missing sock becomes evidence in BMO's investigation. Every detail of Finn and Jake's argument gets woven into their detective story. By the end, BMO's tracked down the sock through this wonderfully convoluted story involving their pet chicken Lorraine and a series of mishaps, making Finn very happy to hear it actually being solved. The genius of all this is that BMO never tells them that they were just being ridiculous. BMO never lectures them about miscommunication or makes them feel bad about arguing. BMO just fixes it, like a true mediator. And that's not the only time. In Your Footsteps shows the other side of BMO's mediation skills. Finn picks BMO up from soccer practice, and for a moment, the treehouse feels like a normal family home. Older brother picking up little brother, everyone happy and relaxed. Then Finn and Jake start bickering. Something about a bear eating Finn's cake, which escalates into one of their petty sibling arguments. And BMO just sits down with their soccer ball, still in their uniform, just watching. The camera holds on BMO's face during this argument. BMO looks so small, uncomfortable, like a child watching his parents fight. BMO doesn't interrupt or try to change the subject, though. They just absorb the tension, hold space for their emotions while processing their own discomfort. They know that it's better to let the two figure it out themselves instead of jumping in. But what if I told you that job is actually what BMO was designed for in the first place? which is what we learn in Be More.
No, BMO's one of a kind. I built BMO to take care of my son.
When its creator didn't have a son, BMO was sent off into the world alone, with one thought in mind.
Hoping can find a family alone. Maybe even find somebody else's little boy to take care of.
Watching BMO in action, you realize he's taken that directive and expanded it into something much more comprehensive. He actively works to make Finn and Jake's lives easier, safer, more comfortable. When they come home from adventures, BMO is there to greet them. When they're bored, BMO becomes an entertainment system for them. But he's also checking their emotional temperature, making sure their friend's okay, adjusting their own behavior to match what their friends need in that moment. That's how BMO becomes part of the family. It's even more evident in Imaginary Resources, part of the Islands miniseries. Jake casually calls BMO son while they're getting ready to leave.
Yes, he's our son.
It's meant affectionately, but it reveals how they actually see their dynamic. BMO as the child that they're responsible for. But watch what happens when BMO gets lost in that VR world. Finn and Jake panic. Not because they think BMO is in danger, BMO can usually handle himself, but because they realize how much they actually need him around. He's the heart of their household, the presence that makes their treehouse feel like home instead of just a place where two guys sleep. When they finally get BMO back, there's this moment of relief that goes deeper than just, oh, our friend is safe. It's our emotional center is restored. Without BMO, something fundamental is missing from their daily life. The heartbreaking part is that BMO performs all of this emotional labor while being treated as the one who needs care themselves, and that still isn't his most vital characteristic. We've mentioned this vital characteristic before, but see if you can spot it from this quote.
I know you want to believe they are a joke, but sometimes life is scary and dark.
Can you guess it? Feel free to place what you expect it to be in the comments down below, but let's continue. This dialogue comes from The Creeps. It's a horror episode. Everyone's trapped in a spooky mansion, weird things are happening, and the mood is getting darker by the minute. Finn and Jake are spooked. Princess Bubblegum is trying to logic her way out of the situation.
So who's the ghost, BMO?
I don't have a ghost detecting equipment. I just like taking nice pictures.
Everyone's on edge, scared, looking for someone to blame or something to fight. Then BMO speaks, and the voice cuts through all the fear. Life is scary and dark sometimes. Pretending it isn't doesn't help. But giving up doesn't help either. You have to actually look for the light. So what does BMO do here? Well, we'll give you another hint in the form of a song. In the series finale, Come Along With Me, reality itself is breaking down, and everyone's facing the end of everything they've known. Finn and Jake are processing trauma and loss. Princess Bubblegum is trying to hold her kingdom together, and the cosmic stakes are almost too big to comprehend. BMO starts singing Time Adventure.
Time is an illusion that helps things make sense. So we are always living in the present tense.
And that's one of BMO's defining characteristics, wisdom. It's philosophy delivered through the voice of innocence. BMO is offering comfort about the nature of memory, love, and loss. He's telling them that even if everything changes, even if they lose each other, the moments they've shared together exist forever in some fundamental way. One by one, the other characters join in. BMO's song becomes everyone's song. His wisdom becomes their strength. In the face of cosmic annihilation, the little caretaker gaming console is the one providing existential comfort to heroes and princesses and cosmic entities. What makes BMO's wisdom so powerful is how he delivers it. There's no condescension, no preaching, no sense that he's talking down to anyone. BMO speaks truth in simple language because he genuinely sees things simply. But perhaps the most heartbreaking part of it all is that when BMO requires that same kind of understanding, he doesn't get it. Perhaps you remember the episode. BMO is stranded in the wilderness, genuinely scared and alone for the first time we've really seen. But even lost and frightened, his first instinct is to take care of someone else. He meets Bubble, who's also lost, and immediately makes a promise.
Help me get to my home, and we will help you find your home.
Then there's the baby.
What a handsome baby. Maybe we can help him find his home too.
Even when BMO is at his most vulnerable, separated from everything familiar, he creates this makeshift family and pours his energy into caring for them. BMO doesn't know how to just be scared or lost. He doesn't know how to ask for help without offering help in return. Even his survival strategy is caretaking. Only after the baby is safely reunited with its mother, Only after everyone else's needs are met does Bimo finally allow himself to break down.
I am sad, Bubble. I miss baby Ricky. I miss him so much already. And I miss Finn. And I miss Jake.
For once in the series, Bimo is voicing their own fear, their own loneliness, their own need for comfort. And Bubble later responds with exactly what Bimo has been giving everyone else: pure accepting love.
All this time we've been together, Bimo, I haven't felt lost. I felt at home. And it's you, Bimo, I feel at home with.
It's one of the most beautiful moments in the series. Someone finally telling Bimo that he creates home by just being himself, and that his presence is enough. And then Jake shows up and pops Bubble.
Hey, a bubble! Pop!
Bimo is genuinely grieving the loss of someone who understood him, but Finn and Jake see a little robot crying over a bubble and completely miss the emotional reality of what just happened.
Oh, it's just Bimo. He's pretending to be all messed up because his bubble got popped.
The dismissal is casual and not meant to be cruel, but that's exactly what makes it so heartbreaking. Bimo just had a profound experience of love and loss, and his closest friends reduce it to pretend play. They infantilize his pain because they're so invested in seeing him as innocent that they can't recognize when he's genuinely suffering. Luckily, it's all resolved because Bubble was actually air trapped inside a bubble.
Not bubble, air. Bimo, I'm air. I've been trapped in that bubble for so long, I'd forgotten who I am. But now, I'm finally home.
Now Air and Bimo can be together forever. And ever. All of these patterns, the protecting, the mediating, the daily care, the wisdom, the overlooked pain, they come together in one story that makes Bimo's true role impossible to ignore. And that, of course, is the Distant Lands episode, Bimo. In this special, Bimo crashes on a space station called the Drift, inhabited by alien beings who've lost their way. These aren't confused teenagers or magical creatures with quirky problems. They're all grown adult people who've given up on hope, community, and trying to make things better for themselves. Bimo immediately befriends Y5, a young rabbit girl who's desperate for her parents' approval. And without even thinking about it, Bimo becomes her mentor. He sees her potential before she does.
Y5?
I love it!
Watch how Bimo talks to Y5. When she's scared, he validates that fear while gently encouraging her to try anyway. When she makes mistakes, Bimo stays present with her, models the behavior he wants to see, and treats her like someone capable of growth. It's exactly what Bimo has always done with Finn and Jake, but now it's more explicit. This little robot that everyone sees as a child is actively raising someone else, teaching them about courage and kindness and resilience. Then Y5 betrays him. She's planned all along to trade Bimo for parts, thinking that it'll finally make her parents proud of her. Bimo is visibly hurt when he finds out. You can see the disappointment in his face, the realization that someone he trusted was willing to sacrifice him. His immediate response is defensive.
I don't need your help.
Bimo, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings.
I have no feelings.
It's the same self-protective instinct we saw after the Amo incident. When Bimo is really hurt, he tries to convince himself and others that he's just a machine, that emotions can't touch him. But as he's being dragged away by the real villain of the story, Bimo can't maintain the pretense. He turns back to Y5 and says the most Bimo thing possible.
You make my feelings happy.
No guilt trip or even a demand for an apology. Just pure honest emotion delivered in the simplest possible language. Bimo forgives her in the same breath as he admits she hurt him. That's emotional maturity most adults never even achieve. Later, when the Drift is facing destruction and Y5 is panicking about their responsibility, Bimo shares something they've never told anyone.
I said the same thing when I was dying. You saved me. You can save the Drift. Even when things look really, really stupid, we still have to try.
Bimo references their own near-death experience. He was literally torn apart earlier in the episode to remind Y5 that she's already proven she can handle impossible situations. But more than that, he's teaching her the philosophy of keeping on trying, just even when everything seems hopeless, something that's carried him throughout the show. And then comes the perfect Bimo moment. While all the adults in the room are having complicated debates about how to save the station, Bimo cuts through everything with childlike clarity.
Why don't we just pull the plug?
All their sophisticated planning missed the most straightforward solution. Bimo sees it immediately because he doesn't overcomplicate things. He just looks for what needs to be done and does it. The plan works, obviously. The entire community comes together to manually eject the energy-draining device, with Bimo cheerleading their efforts.
Use your handsome body! Go!
His enthusiasm is infectious, his confidence unshakable. BMO has taken a group of cynical, defeated adults and reminded them how to hope, how to work together, and how to believe in themselves. Y5's parents, who have spent the entire episode dismissing their daughter and treating her like a disappointment, finally see her more clearly.
We lost our way.
You're an amazing person, Y5.
The family healing starts to happen because BMO believed in Y5 when no one else would, taught her to believe in herself, and created the conditions for her to shine. But here's what makes this episode the ultimate proof of BMO's true nature. It's revealed to be a prequel. The crash that lands BMO on the drift is the same crash that eventually brings him to Earth, where he'll meet baby Finn and Jake. BMO was already a hero before Finn and Jake ever found him. He'd already spent time raising other people up, teaching them to find light in darkness, creating home wherever he went. BMO's story holds up a mirror to something we can recognize. The underestimated one is often the one holding everything together, the friend who's always there for everyone else, the sibling who keeps the peace, the innocent one who actually carries the deepest wisdom. Adventure Time gave us a character who proves that caretaking isn't about size or age or appearance or personality, it's about love in action. In the end, BMO didn't just entertain Finn and Jake, he raised them, and in his own sweet way, he raised all of us too. And if you want to see what happens when someone gives everything to save others but can't save himself, check out our video on the hero who couldn't save himself.